I use it honestly with my own makeup sometimes when I want to like blend a blush or something like that.
Or the new Hydra Man.
What?
Or the new Hydra Man.
Yes, because I keep using the top of my like foops and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or like my
I do that
and then
too.
there's always stuff on the top of my things.
Yes.
So, okay, here we go. You ready? What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Cenoblends palettes are $5.50. I don't see the Cenoblends guide though.
The guide, is it there?
Maybe they're redoing it now that we have the.
I hope so. Because I
Are they normally like
liked
where
it.
the samples
Yeah.
and stuff are in the back office?
We should
Yeah.
just ask someone about it.
Yeah.
Or in quick
I wonder
order?
if the new girl Sarah, the esthetician,
Oh,
makeup
yeah.
artist. I wonder if she's anyway. Sorry. Okay.
You're fine. Okay, ready? We're gonna pretend like she is a customer, not my friend. So we're gonna start. Have you already washed your face? You have moisturizer on you?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I always preface it with a little bit of skincare because sometimes someone will come over and say like their face is dry as the desert. They have not washed their face. So then I take a couple steps back, walk them to my bathroom, and we do a little mini skincare demo before I even get to makeup, which is huge to always ask and start that conversation because then you could have just sold skincare and makeup to them. So this is the one product that I have people apply themselves. So I explain this is silk. I'm gonna put a small pump on your middle finger and then you're gonna tap it between and then you're gonna apply in a downward direction on your cheek, focusing mostly where your larger pores are and then lightly like on your forehead, okay? Then we are gonna do some concealer. This may be not the way the steps you go, but
You do you.
I'm gonna do me. Here we go. Okay, so light concealer. I like to put light underneath the eyes and then any redness. Like for me personally, I have a lot of redness around my nose. I'm kind of looking at her, look out to this window. So we'll go through any spots that she has red, we'll kind of just spot correct, okay? This is my favorite brush and I try to make sure when I'm doing clients is that I show them what brushes I'm using as well. And now that I have all those brush sets that they started sending, I am going to start selling those things at my demos, you know? So, eyes up to the sky. So I'm just tapping from the outside in, and then I'm using this brush down. Turn your chin. And I'm going like triangle motion, so not just right across, but kind of down, okay? And then with any excess, we'll go over here just a little bit. Turn your chin this way so they can see. And I'm doing really, really like light pats, not super blending in anything. Other side. Let's move it on this side. And then I also do have a mirror and I ask them, do you want me to do half your face and then you do the other half? Do you want me to do your full face? Do you want to hold a mirror or do you like surprises and you want to see it at the end? So kind of just making it fun, making it personal with what they enjoy doing. Okay?
Or even just seeing how the different steps look.
Yeah, totally. Okay, full pump of light tinted moisturizer.
What did you use first?
Like concealer.
Oh, silk. When she applied it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Silk.
no, you're
I thought
fine.
it was CCTM. I thought, there, CCTM.
No, yeah, I just personally don't want to touch people's faces because I'm not an esthetician. That is when you should be touching people's faces. So I'll walk them through the processes of those.
Doesn't Senegence not want us to touch their faces?
Yeah.
With fingers and stuff
We're
anyway?
not supposed to.
Okay.
If you do, you should just ask permission first.
Yeah, and I've had like friends that are like,
Yeah.
I don't care,
Yeah.
you know? All right, so now we're doing light tinted moisturizer. So I am kind of going all over, dabbing it, and I'm really making sure that I'm not pulling or dragging, and I'm just kind of stippling it in. Okay. This brush sucked up so much product.
Clean brushes tend to do that.
I know, right? That's why we keep looking. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't have dirty brushes. Yeah, and I like to honestly, sometimes I even show them, like I'll be there like finishing up washing my brushes, or I have my brush cleaner out with them laid out, because I think just the visual of them knowing like, oh, she just washed her brushes, it's like little bit more validating and comforting for them to know, like, you're professional, you're ready, prepared, clean.
And I like to keep my brushes, my clean brushes and my dirty brushes in like separate cups, so it's very visual when I'm done with a brush.
Yeah,
I
you
put
separate
it. I put it in the dirty bucket, and so then they're seeing that like I'm only using clean brushes on your face. That's really helpful. And I always have a clean like washcloth or towel, so if I get makeup on my hands, I can just really quickly wipe it off.
Oh, I forgot one step. So I always have one of like the Senegence hand sanitizers right out, and I wash my hands right before, even though I'm not necessarily touching her. But just taking that extra step of customer service, even if you're doing a friend or something, it's really good to just get a routine down with it, so you feel more confident with that.
Yeah, I always just go wash my hands.
Yeah.
Because I like the Senegence hand soap.
Okay, I just admitted to Teresa that I've never used the brow gel, so we're gonna figure this out. What do you do?
I
You
do use
literally
that.
just
I love
straight
it.
up.
Just straight up. You like it? I don't know why I've never.
I
Yeah,
love
me
the
too.
brush until I had my microbladed or microshaded.
Now I just sold myself.
It helps.
I used it
It,
before,
Yeah, I kind
I
of
used it
rushed it.
after.
It just like lifts them.
yeah, and on days that I'm not putting any color in my brows, I use the brow gel because it's going to help the hairs grow and they're thinning.
I plucked
So-
the crap out of my brows in the 90s, and
Yeah.
they were like, there was
Yeah.
nothing left there.
Yeah.
But then
You
you
have to let it
really
dry
let
before you can add the cream.
Okay, so I should
It gets
just use
worse
brow
with
gel.
age.
Yeah,
Don't tell me that. Oh, no.
it gets
I'm gonna be
raw.
I lost
bald by the
extra
time I'm
juice.
60.
I
Okay,
lost too much
okay.
of my hair.
Gel's
I'm on
wet.
steroids.
No,
That's
that's fine.
Hair everywhere. I mean, last year I had a short, spiky haircut. That's a
Yeah.
past.
Wow.
I've got all kinds of new growth. I use the hair covering.
All right,
and I
I'm
use
gonna
the scalp
do
scrubber
deep
to put the serum on.
bronze dust for like a light contour, okay? She is a little bit more fair than me and I use deep, so if I need to, I can use my brush that I started with to kind of go over it to soften it out. So I put a little bit on here and stippling it around so it's all on the brush. Were you
What's
gonna
the
ask a
deep?
question? Deep, did I say the right thing?
Bronze blush scents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said totally.
That's
I
enough
mixed
product.
like 3 products just now. So there's bronze blush scents, that's really good to do contour. There's deep CCTM, bronze dust, but it has the shimmer, so it's kind of like a contour and a blush, or bronzer. And then, what's the other one? Deep stick, like from the contour
Yeah,
kits.
the contour kits.
Yeah, okay, chin all the way up this way. Okay, we're gonna start all the way from the temple. Really can't see lighting wise. Look at these. Straight, yeah. Take clean brushes. Really sucking in all this product. Okay, a little bit more. I like to start with less, and I'd rather add a little bit more than not.
It's so much easier to add more versus like trying to like take it off
Yeah.
and having to start over. So especially on other people, I always start light-handed.
Super light. So I'm turning the brush now to do her forehead. So I'm using like the edge of it. And I'm going like pretty much in her hairline. Turn your chin towards me a little bit.
Heather, do you have trouble with that getting in your hair? Lighter hair?
I mean, it does, but not enough to worry about
Oh, I also failed with not
because I
getting
have
it
a
before
short
texture.
forehead too. So I mean, I'm always getting product in my
Yeah, I
hair.
always
The
do
background
that,
of
sorry.
myself.
But yeah,
Oh,
it-
perfect.
Molly,
Alright.
when you turn her and you're looking for something, are you looking for how light falls on her or?
Yeah, well, I mean, I want good light, but I'm also making sure that I'm going into her temple. Like, I'm weird. I literally put makeup all the way into my hair intentionally, so there is not a weird. So you can know where to put contour with smile. Like where that top ball, the contour should go right here. Blush should go above. Okay, so that's a good.
so I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Not to get off topic,
No,
but
fine.
I have a very small face, like
Yeah.
between here and here. I've always thought my face was too small here to contour. No,
No.
no.
can contour your
So
face.
even
Yeah.
with somebody with a shorter,
Yeah.
you would still contour.
It would just be a
A
smaller.
little where your cheekbone is, I would put it like just above your ear versus
Yeah.
like she's probably bringing it back like right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on you, it where your cheekbone is just a little higher, I would just bring that contour up a little higher to accentuate
Okay.
that cheekbone.
And for me personally, I'm trying to not like overwhelm my clients with contouring. I stick to mostly the forehead and the cheeks.
Same.
I don't do the neck. I don't do the pterodactyl nose thing. I'm like, we don't need to
Pterodactyl
scare
nose.
people on contouring, you know? So, but Elite, I definitely did learn a lot more on contouring and where to contour everywhere and that type of thing. So,
I do think as well, like when you're doing someone's makeup, something I learned a long time ago, I don't even remember who this was from, but she said whenever she goes to work on a client, she asks before she starts, is there anything you're self-conscious about that you'd like me to conceal or anything like that? Because if you go in and you're like, okay, well you have a lot of redness, so we're gonna start with green concealer.
Yeah, they're
Maybe
like,
she's
thanks a
never
lot.
thought that she had redness before and you just gave her a complex. So just be aware, like you're talking about someone's face and you wanna be sensitive to that.
and a good point too is in the beginning, Teresa, tell me what type of makeup you wear on the daily. If you were gonna just wake up today, what do you put on your face? And if she tells me this full makeup look, I know she's going for more of a full face. If she's like, I put 3 things on my face, obviously I'm not gonna just do those basics, but I'm gonna say, okay, well, what are you comfortable with me trying? Or has there been a product you've either seen me or just in general that you wanna learn? So, oh, I've been dying to figure out how to do my brows. Okay, perfect. Or I really don't like contour. Good. Now I know, you know, certain things. So like the communication in the beginning is huge. All right, we are gonna do some blush now. Oh, it's stuck. It's gonna, there it goes. Okay, there it goes. All right. So blush placement. Put a little bit, and I'm stippling right above where I did that contour and all the way up. Look straight.
The step most people skip is the all the way up.
Yeah.
You bring it all the way back to the
We
hairline.
do not go here and stay. We move. So, and me personally, I kind of just to lightly dust. Sorry, I gotta stand in the middle just to make sure that we are blended. And I'm very, very big on like, keep blending. When you think you're done, you're not done, you know? So,
You can do a little bit of blush on the forehead if you want to add, like you can add a little bit
Yeah,
into the bronzer.
and it helps with the contour to have just not so much of just like a dark tone. But do you guys see how putting it on her forehead kind of helps just like bring in those like shadows, the good ones that we want on our face. All right, and then I really, I like to keep whatever brush I used for her tinted moisturizer just to lightly soften the edges. So, and that just helps kind of blend out. And I'm not really pushing or like trying to move around, but I'm just softening those edges. Okay, let's go to brows now. That should be dry now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is black brown. Sometimes I like to ask my clients like between colors. Like I will always give them a recommendation, but I want them to feel like they're allowed to choose as well. So like between granite or like a deep brown, you know? So I'll just show it to them and this is what I recommend for you. Like, do you like this color too? Kind of thing.
And granite works for more people than you think.
Yeah, I used granite for
I use
years.
granite.
Yeah, yeah. I switched, but I kind of still love it.
And it like mixing it in with some of the warmer brow shades will cool it down. So if you have someone who's like needs that cooler, because most of I think like medium brown,
They're all
they're
orange.
very
They're all very warm,
very
yeah.
orange. So if you just mix in a little bit of that granite brow cream, it will cool the tone
Jan,
down.
what color do you use for brows?
The brown black, whatever
Okay.
my mascara
Yeah.
is.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, brows. I always explain what I'm doing as I go, especially with like clients too. So I tell them you're gonna always start in the middle of your brow. You're never gonna start on the inside. You wanna start at the highest point of your brow and you wanna work out. And then you'll come back to the inside, okay? So we're gonna start here and we're doing tiny little hair strokes. And I'm really still haven't even got to the inside. I'm gonna fake just a little bit more of a tail for her. And then now I'm going down through to the inside. And the reason is your hand hits the heaviest where you first put the product, and you really want the focus to be that top part of your brow. Okay, now we're gonna brush it through. It's so crazy with the brow gel, it like,
Right.
seems so different. But it's not really sticking to your skin as much down here.
No, it doesn't. That part is unfortunate.
Okay,
I
sorry.
think you can.
Well,
No, it's
I attempted to make a tail, but the tail did not want to.
I think you can do the brow gel after you do the cream.
You absolutely can.
But
That's fine.
I usually do it the other way. I don't know why.
I haven't used our newest like colored brow gel, brow scents. I haven't used it yet.
It's
It's
like
Oh,
mousse, it's
it's
so
the
blendable.
best.
like the only
Oh.
product I haven't used.
Okay, make
It's
sure
really
you
nice.
try it.
I'm still trying to find a color that works.
So
Yeah.
you
Mine
would
came
be,
really boring.
you would probably be
I would-
medium or deep brown.
Okay.
I would do
But
granite.
But honestly,
But-
try the granite because the
Yeah.
granite's so
Really?
universal. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
You could mix deep brown and granite out.
Yeah, because I think I have deep brown, but it just looked pretty orange.
Yeah, it pulls really orange on me too.
So I can do black brown, deep brown, or granite. So it's versatile. What do we think? How do we like the brows? Good?
Very good.
Turn.
Please?
Beautiful. Very
Molly, why
lovely.
would you use one color over another?
For the three for me, granite I used for years because I always used smoked topaz and that was the closest one. But as my hair color changed, I kind of needed to change, and it's softer on me. And as my makeup has evolved, I kind of want to have a more bold look. So then I went to the deep brown, and then when I really want like a glam look, then I use the black brown. So on a day where it looks like I don't have my brows done, I put granite in. When it's like an everyday thing, deep brown. So for me personally, like I switch up a lot of things on my face when I'm going for a specific look.
Speaking for every older woman everywhere, brows are a nightmare because we never learned how to do
Yeah.
brows. And a lot of gals that I did my MUA on had never ever
Yeah,
had their
I
brows
sell a lot of
And
brow
So
products.
how did you handle that? Because that was very awkward. I mean,
Like, are you talking about really long hairs
They need,
and
yeah,
like,
they need
yeah?
to be tweezed, mowed.
I asked if
Mowed.
I could, I literally asked if I could trim some of their long hairs. Like I didn't pluck, but I have eyebrow tweezer scissor things. I don't know the proper word, sorry, you're recording me. I'm like, I'm so weird. But I just asked like, would you mind if I clean up the top part of your brow? And why would anyone say no to doing something that's gonna help the overall
It was,
end?
Yeah.
You
it was
know?
awkward because some of them had like unibrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I just
Wow.
I recommend that
I
they get-
don't do that. I tell them that they can. I tell them what I do. If they mention that it bothers them,
Yeah.
but you know, especially as you get older, your hair starts to thin, and so most of the time people don't want to pluck or cut because they want as much. They're like
Yeah.
holding on to the hair. So I recommend the brow gel for those people to promote the growth,
Yeah.
so that they keep their brow hair.
And yeah, the gray ones. And I think that goes to show the more you talk to them in the beginning of what they're looking for, what their concerns are, where they're insecure. Most people will tell you, like, I have no idea what to do with my brows, or I hate all, and then it's like, okay, I know once I get to that point. But if you kind of have to read the room, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
If their
they
expectation is that you're going to go ahead and pull out
yeah, I would never.
hairs that are crazy,
And
then
it's not every time by any means that I have to do that for someone, but usually it's them saying, once I get to their brows, just be like, will you help me, or can you da-da-da, or I hate that, how crazy this one is. I'm like, well, I have brow scissors if you want, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't come and chop at everyone's brows, I promise. Like, all right, so we're gonna go to eyeshadow next.
I use woodland in my brows now since I did my hair a little darker instead of using woodland. I love
All right,
it.
these are like the
Flower
three
splash.
most popular that I use all the time: Candlelight, Mocha Java Shimmer, and Garnet. Okay?
What's the third one?
Candlelight, Mocha Java Shimmer, Garnet. Garnet.
Garnet.
Is that how you say it? Garnet. All right, I'm gonna throw them here. And then I'm going to, now, when I'm doing a makeover, it's better to use your palette. These are hers, so we can kind of go straight to her eye. Doing a little swirl. It looks like she likes this color too, which is perfect. And then different ways to apply. You can put it onto the brush like this. And close. And the candlelight is going to go all over, all the way up to her brow. You guys can see over there, right?
I do brows after shadow, does it matter?
I don't think it matters. I mean, it's just my personal, like, order of events.
I like to do it before, do brows before, only because my brows are very droopy naturally, because I have very thick hair, so it falls.
Oh, so it kind of helps frame and shape.
Yeah, it helps me know like how much space I have to work with
Fun.
if I have used my brow gel and gotten my brows like a little lifted.
Come into this eye. And I always kind of warn them and see how she still like did the little blink. So it's like, you got to get used to just like telling them, okay, I'm going to the next side, like,
Yeah.
because they will shake.
You'll scare people
Yeah.
on accident.
Does candlelight work for those that are more fair skinned as well?
I think candlelight
It
works
turn
for
it's too
everyone.
yellow on me.
I'm very
Sandstone pearl.
Sandstone Pro would be.
I use sandstone pearl or pink
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 frost.
frost.
Yeah, I got the pink frost.
I like the frost too. And I know a lot of people use candlelight for like concealer and that type of thing. Me personally, I don't like to. You can open if you want. I don't like to tell them right away all the things you can multifunction because I am in the business to make money. So I would like to sell them a concealer to use for a concealer. You know, that's
Smart.
just kind of.
Easier to.
A little ruthless, but I'm like, no, we're buying a concealer for a concealer and we're buying a shadow for a shadow. Now, if I have people that have 20 to 30 shadows, then of course I'm going to teach them how they can use it as a blush or something like that. But I very rarely use a product for what it's not recommended for. So,
I found too that like as I'm getting older, the shadow sense for me is a little more crepey to use as concealer or under
Yeah.
my eyes, or I don't want it like
like
that
there's a
everywhere.
reason that
Yeah.
we have an under eye concealer.
Right,
Like there's a
right.
reason that. Now, I will say the Hydro Matte as blush. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I know.
That's my one.
It's amazing.
My what do you call it? Where it's like an exception to the rule because that pink one, chilled pink as blush, is like fab. So, all right, this is Mocha Java Shimmer, and I'm tapping onto her lid. So notice how with the candlelight, I put the brush here, but there's a lot of product on this, so I'm just doing a really light tap. Okay. And I'm putting it all over the lid, okay? And then with shimmers, I really like to just like softly dab. We're not having to do the windshield wiper motions or anything like that because this is a shimmer, so I want to keep that color pigmented, okay? And on the other eye.
Heather, do you want to come over here?
I'm okay. Thank you though.
I'm trying to not block you. So
No, you're fine.
turn your chin a little bit towards me. Towards me.
Mostly that I'm getting the steps, like, you know, you're
Perfect.
explaining everything, so it's fine.
So again, just kind of like tapping in, trying not to like move that shimmer around too much, okay? All right. And then the last color, people always get scared by like the dark colors, but I am a huge fan of garnet. I use it almost every day on myself and on my customers, and I have to show them like, yes, it's a dark
Pull
brown.
the stoppers out of that one.
Oh,
so just so you know.
perfect. Can you please teach me how to get the stoppers out of some of mine? I'm dying.
I literally take nail scissors and I stab it and I pop it out.
Stamp.
Needle nose.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing
Yeah.
it. I have 3 or 4 set aside that I'm like, we are getting this to the last drop. But I will never tell my customers about taking the stopper out because when it's running low, you get another.
See, I'm too nice.
I'm sorry. I'm a nice person.
told
I'm
mine
really
to.
Hair
nice.
PV, right? Yeah,
I'm
she's
super
ruthless.
nice.
People are like, I need a candlelight refill. I'm like, did you take the stopper out yet? This is why Molly is top 10 in sales and I'm not.
I'm so
We tell them this will last you to the
do
until the
not
new
do
one
not
comes.
put that on anywhere on Facebook.
Although the caveat to that is that if they take it out too soon, it's gonna be like
Oh,
oozing out every time you close it up, and then it's a mess,
Yeah.
and they don't want that either. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a
Another one of my favorite brushes, these Eco Tools, I think
I
that's
love
what they're
Eco
called,
Tools.
dual end. And this one in particular, this is like, I use this one every day and I use my concealer, like there are some brushes that I would take on a deserted island and these are a couple of them. Because I use that bottom part for the lower lash. But this one I'm gonna use for the outer corner. So close your eye and I'm going to do a light swipe down. Come, give me this side. Yep. So outer corner, and I'm swiping, almost like creating like a little bit of a triangle effect. Get a lot of product on that. Kind of goes to show you guys how quickly you can get extra product on. Taking the brush that I used with the Mocha Java to blend it out and soften it. It's also quite interesting doing it from the side a bit.
Every day. And every time I do it, it reminds me.
Okay, so up into the crease line, and then taking that Mocha Java brush. This is the Mocha Java brush. If not, it's a clean brush, which is fine too, because you can kind of blend the two together, okay? So simple, easy look. I do need to come from the front for a second, just so I can suss out the angle. All right, now my biggest thing, once you do all three of the colors, I always tell her to keep your eyes open. So I wanna see how it looks with your eyes open, and I blend up at the top, just so I can see if it is like showing up, if it needs to go too high, if one's kind of higher than the other. Awesome. All right. See it further up. Well, no, actually it's not. So don't do eyeliner personally when I'm doing makeovers, because honestly it's really hard to do sanitary with an eyebrow pencil or the eyeliner pencil. I have done liquid sometimes, but again, that's also really hard to do unless you're like putting it onto a brush. So I do use Shadow Sense when I'm doing liner, and I use this part of the brush and I just smudge it out on the lower lash. This is usually when people get a little flinchy, so sorry. Okay, so you're gonna look up. I'm gonna pull her eyelid down. I'm like, are you okay if I touch your face a little bit? And then I am doing it on her lashes. Like that's what I'm focusing on. So a little bit's gonna go on the underneath, but it just creates a really pretty soft, smoky look. Yes. Me like. Okay, good. Sorry.
It's okay.
When was the last time somebody did your makeup?
It's been a
Been
minute.
like a year and a half.
Oh, I love it.
So, hubby taking you out tonight?
I know, he better. She's like, no, first I have to wash my face. All right, man, I'm scrolling so hard right now. I've got mascara left and lips and then powder. So mascara, you're gonna obviously use your tester wands. The tester wands really, really suck. So it's really hard to put mascara on someone else because it does not absorb as much as this. So what I like to do is I get several tester wands, put the first one in, I put the mascara on from behind them so you can see the lashes better, and it causes them to not blink as much. Like it takes away the like this for
Because
them.
you're not coming at them with something.
Yeah.
It's more like they're doing it themselves. It's the same, like it looks the same.
And I'm also really like comfortable with just doing a quick layer, and you can see if they're just like freaking out about it or if they're fine. And if they're freaking out, I just hand them the wand. Like you can't really teach mascara, like that's not a teachable thing, you know. So, all right, we're gonna go from the hood, and then I like to do a little bit of a lash wiggle.
When I started doing, because some people are just so, they're just so
jumpy about it, is I'll actually have them look down, and then I'll
Do the
take-
top layer.
and then just
yeah.
lift,
Mm.
like, and then, yeah.
That's a
just
good idea.
lift. That way they're looking down, so they can't really, you know, can't poke their eye out. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just because some people just flinch, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
I will say doing mascara on someone is like 20 times harder in my
Oh,
opinion
yeah,
than
it is-
doing like
it is really
lips
hard.
or whatever.
Mascara is the hardest for me still.
So you can definitely fix your mascara after this.
When are we gonna get our waterproof mascara and black that?
Oh my god, I forgot that we had that.
Oh.
It's
been so long.
Waterproof black.
So look down. I'm gonna coat her top lash.
We should only talk about whatever one we currently have in stock.
Yep.
When this one, water resistant, went out, I just switched to waterproof and was like, I've been loving this one lately.
Mm.
Didn't even say anything. I sold so many waterproof mascaras.
I don't know if you don't talk about it.
I only had like 2 people that asked me for a refill.
Oh really?
Well, my customers are cheap like me, and they'll use the mascara until it's gone. Not every 3 months like you're supposed to.
I'm like ruthless. I've got my mascara list. I know exactly when to follow up with someone, and they need to buy more.
And this is why Molly is top 10.
Stop!
I
I mean,
I suck at following. I need to
I have
create
Google
a system.
I have
and
Google
follow that
Forms.
spreadsheet. You have to.
for like everything,
So
and
you
I'm
do
like,
90 days on mascara?
yeah,
I feel like
88.
I feel like the older generation tends to use mascara on, I mean, just like for months and months
Do you have,
and
like-
months and
Well,
months.
until you educate them and tell them.
And I've
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
them, but they
Yeah.
just
Like
don't
others.
want to.
Because I
I mean,
just
they're
got a lash
just,
comb,
I guess
so
they're
that if
content
anything looks
using
funky, I
8-month-old mascara. I don't know.
Just keep.
I use it on
Yeah.
myself, but how can you make
How
that
it
skin
gets
like
really
rub
hard
it
after-
on? That's like-
It
So-
doesn't go on the same. It's
No,
just
it
goopy.
doesn't.
That's when you
Oh,
have
there you
clumpy
go.
mascara.
With my
Like trying to be
mascara,
like a
I'll
little
take
rebel.
my primer and mascara and I'll tuck it in my
Yeah,
brow.
that's what
Eyes
I do.
up for the lower lash, and I just like wiggle it.
My lower lashes are so tiny.
She's got good lower lashes.
I use this mascara that has lash growth serum. Have you ever heard of it?
about it?
It's amazing.
And I didn't do primer on her. Do you use primer a lot on yourself?
I do on myself.
Okay.
I don't on clients.
Yeah.
Because it's one more thing that I have to put on their lashes that I'm bad at that.
But it's also one more thing that
No, I
you
mean,
can
that's
sell.
really helpful. That's when you're working on them, don't, when you're working on
I'm just going in with my concealer brush to clean up any spots, which there's that one that's gonna drive me mad. And so I would get a Q-tip, which we might have to do. Or is it a freckle? No, it's gone. I was like, or is it a freckle? Okay, and then I'm using my concealer brush also, just like at the edges of her shadow, to just clean up that lash line.
They're beautiful eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous.
Close your eyes. Again, I just feel like even when you feel like you've blended, to just keep going, and helps kind of just like clean up if there was any mascara or anything like that. Okay.
When did you get confident?
When?
You'll let me know, I know, but when did you
Um, on applying makeup to someone? Honestly, way after my MUA.
Same.
Wow.
Like literally,
Wow.
I would say I hit my MUA in July 2021, was it? Hold on, let me back up. Yep, yeah, July 2021. And then November, I did my first paid event.
That just makes
So,
Wow.
yeah. So,
Paid? Oh my gosh, Ellen.
terrifies me.
No, people need to pay you for your time.
oh,
I am like, I'm upping my prices again. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know where to start. So I haven't done, I just got my MUA.
Mhm.
So I don't even know where to, because I do have some.
So I would
mean,
take, honestly, for me personally, I would take 3 or 4 more months to
Yeah.
before you feel comfortable charging, and then start at 50.
I started at like 30.
Oh, okay.
Just because that made me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I felt comfortable charging 30 for what the level I was at.
Right.
And now I'm at 50.
So I also charge for my one-on-one demos. So if I met Teresa at the grocery store, which I meet people at HEB a lot, and I say, oh, I host one-on-one makeup sessions, you can do product credit or you can pay for the hour service, or I don't remember like the exact wording. I keep these in my purse and I pass these out like hotcakes, not my business cards, but these, complimentary makeup session.
Nice.
But the word complimentary is, I say it's either a $50 product credit or you can just get your makeup done. So I have different ones. Some of them say how much I charge. Some of them say for group of 4. I kind of pick and choose, but it just says text me and find me on Instagram or Facebook.
Send me that.
You can hold it and pass it around too if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually when I meet people and they're asking about it and talking about it, then I just tell them like, oh yeah, it's $50, or you can use it towards product credit, and then they want to spend $200 to $250. But it takes that pressure
I
off.
did start with just a purchase. It was $30 or you make at least a $30 purchase.
Yeah,
and
so
most
very
people
similar
would
to
snag
that.
a mascara
Yeah.
or like an overnight lip mask or something. So that also made me feel comfortable too, that it wasn't necessarily just for my time, but they also got something to take home.
Yeah. But it is good to
Do you
value
ever
your
do the
own
vendor
time.
event, you have won a,
What?
you have won a makeup?
Oh yeah, I do that every single vendor event. I have a notebook and everyone has to fill it out, and then I'm giving away a $25 shop credit and a 1-hour makeover session, and then I message them all and they all won and they all come over individually.
So $25 shop credit?
Yeah.
And a 1 hour.
All right, here we go. We're doing lips. Clean, dry lips. This is how I would talk to a customer though. Okay, so this is different than any other lip color you've ever used, so you're not gonna wanna swipe back and forth, you're not gonna wanna blot. If you do have a little bit of dry lips, you might feel a tingle, but the tingle is the cosmetic grade alcohol just evaporating from your lips so that it can bond quicker to your lip. So you're gonna feel a little funny, just keep your mouth open and we will go for it. I think I like wiped off too much because I kept talking the whole time. So we go.
What color is that?
We are using
I'm
Bella.
sorry? I'm not a big vendor event person. I've done 2 in my business. I'm more Facebook parties and in-home demos and that kind of
Able to
thing.
like dip.
I know,
So
right?
I love it though. All right, and then I like to go open up a little bit wider. So I go from the underneath to do the top lip, but I know some people like to do like bottom down, bottom down. So whatever you guys are like comfortable with, like getting your system down. But I have like the perfect swoop that always kind of hits the Cupid's bow wall, so. I shouldn't say that. I like to do it all over your face.
So the vendor events, there's just a venue like a mile and a half down the road from my house. It's Silos on 77.
Oh yeah.
And at the vendor event, at this vendor event, they have, like, this is a really nice venue. It's indoors. They have a Christmas in July, and then they have a sale that's the Sunday before Black Friday. And I've done $1,000 at every, minimum,
Wow.
$1,000 at every vendor event. They have a full bar and all these little specialty drinks, and so these women literally will spend the entire 4 or 5 hours inside this venue because they've got food, they've got alcohol, they've
Yeah.
got a kids room, so they get to do crafts and ornaments and things, and so you feed them alcohol, they want to, they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
ooh, let me shop, and
Yeah.
put lip scents on them,
Another
go walk
thing
around
with
and drink your drink, and then they say it didn't come off.
Oh,
and then
that's
they're
fun.
all-
And then they come
Wow.
back. They come back. They come back. Yeah.
They always
Wow.
come back.
When I'm putting lipstick on someone or shadow or anything that like my hands get shaky still, resting your hand on someone, it kind of calms them, like gives like a connection, but it also helps you stay more steady. So don't be afraid to, you know, and sometimes I'll be like, do you care if I put my hand there to keep myself steady? Like just communicating everything that you're doing. So
Is that Bella?
Yeah, this is Bella. I only did 2 layers because I did a really heavy second layer, but don't do that.
Would you use the Hydra mat?
No, I
Lines for
used
this?
the regular.
Here, well, hold on. Like,
Sorry, what? Is it good or you want more?
oh, okay. I always ask them, I have their other lips together, and I say, okay, is anywhere still sticky?
Yeah.
And then I put more gloss there. What I was gonna say about Hydra Matte, especially if it's a new person, I'm sticking with lip scents for Facebook parties, for vendor events, for all those things. I want them to get the full magic of our
Yes.
products.
100%. 100%.
Because there's a lot of lip colors on the market that are similar to Hydra Matte.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, I want them to have the, oh, this really doesn't come off.
Yeah.
Got it.
And you don't really get that with the Hydra Matte. I do have them all here if anybody wants to try
Yeah.
them before we go. But I'm still, I'm gonna sell Hydra Matte in my customer group and I'm gonna talk about it a lot, but I'm still really gonna try to hook new customers with
That was
regular
my
lip
question,
scents.
vendor events, because it takes so long to educate them
Mm.
and to demonstrate them. Hydra Matte would be much faster to demonstrate.
So my thought on this is I'll probably have Hydra Matte like available, but it won't be like out and I'll talk about lip scents first. And if someone's like, this is too expensive, this is too much time, we'll be like, okay, well, we do have this other option. It doesn't work quite as well, but having that like extra option, I think.
Option.
Okay, last step, just a little bit of the light translucent powder. And then I always explain to my customers, okay, so this is gonna help set your makeup. It's going to help absorb oils. It also has an anti-wrinkle peptide in it, and it is like a filter-like finish. So it blurs any imperfections. And sometimes too, if you're asking them in the beginning if you wanna see the before and the after, if you wanna see a side-by-side, I'll even just start with putting tinted moisturizer on half, giving them the mirror, and they're like, whoa. And then I'll do like every single step, handing them the mirror in between. But my joke is like, do you like surprises or not like surprises? You know, because I love surprises, so I just want to see it at the end. But some people want that spoiler and the step-by-step and seeing it. So, how do you guys think I did?
Looks great. Looks really
Yes!
good.
Let's show her. Let's
Very
show
good.
her. Let's get the wow effect.
I did good. I did good.
Hey, I love it. Here we go. She has to say that. I'm just kidding. No, I think it looks good.
So is that real different than what you do or similar?
It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty safe.
Yeah,
Safe,
You've
easy
never
colors.
had any real negative.
I do the same thing on pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
You
Negative what?
Color,
Any feedback,
color-wise.
I mean, your clients
Oh,
love.
thank you.
And like placement, never like I most people that come sit in my chair, I put the same face on them unless they ask for something
Yeah.
specific.
Like, you don't feel like you really have to reinvent the wheel too much. I would say when you're doing your MUA to maybe have at least a spread of 10 colors and kind of mix and match, like the pink trio, the brown trio, the smoked topaz trio, and then that's it. And then just
Yeah.
kind of keep swapping between those few.
Now, how would you close and like how do you close the makeover and then like make the sale?
So I would literally ask like, okay, do you like it? You like it
Yes.
all? Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna show you all the products that I used. I'll write down a list, and then we can go downstairs and I'll put them into your cart, and then you can tell me which ones you want now and which ones you want to move to your wish list.
Oh.
That's
like
really
that.
good.
Yeah, that's.
And it's not an ask for me, it's just that's my next step. So then I put everything into the cart. I offer when people come for their makeovers, I pay their $10 kiss and tell. And my normal makeover is between $200 to $400. So, because
So say that again, you automatically set up their kiss and tell?
Yep, right there on my couch, because my office is really small. So I'm like, hey, let's go downstairs, grab some water, like, you know, and then
So that means your
let's
birthday,
just put
you
it.
need a couple things, right? Birthday.
I mean, I'm on my laptop with them, so I'll have them do it. But what I do is once they create the account, I just put everything into the cart, and then I go down the list with it. I'm like, okay, so here's the silk, here's the concealer, here's the tinted moisturizer, and like sometimes they'll be like, oh, I like the brows, but I already have a brow thing. Okay, cool, we can take that off. Let me put that on your wish list, and then I just write that down. I know that she didn't get it now, but in like 30, 60 days, I can follow up and say, how's your brow product? Are you running low yet? Do you want to try the Senegence version? Then I just put like every single shadow, and I literally look at her face and I start just putting it in the cart, because when they see it in the cart, it's like the like
Ownership.
buy, you know.
Yeah.
And then I keep saying, you know, there is no pressure to buy. I just want you to see how it is. I want to show you the discount that I'm going to offer you today. And that's that.
So you don't go backwards to the moisturizers or the,
It depends. I mean, if I was definitely selling that to her in the beginning, then yes, you know. But usually, like, I'll show them the mirror and they're like, I love it. I'm like, good, me too. Let's go figure out what to put in your cart. And it's just like a natural response to like, you love it. Sweet, let's go, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and if they say they don't love it, you know, I kind of read the room and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what on your face do you really like? And if they're just talking about the lips or just the shadows, and you can really see that they're honing in on one thing, I don't want to petrify them with an entire cart.
They don't
So
go
I'm not
home
that
with anything?
ruthless. I don't do it every time, but it is.
They don't go home with anything?
Well, if you carry stock, you would just do the same thing in square.
Yeah.
Like if you're wanting to like put everything together and like here's everything right now, I would just same verbiage, same everything. Just use like put everything in their square invoice and like here. So this is the tinted moisturizer. This is the soap. Like, you know, go through the whole list just in square if you have it in stock.
I don't personally carry a lot of inventory. Like, I literally have like one little tiny bucket, and it's mostly just lip colors, sometimes shadows, sometimes mascara. If I have one thing of theirs in stock, then I give it to them, especially if I know them, and then I have them just replace, like put it still in their cart, but I hand it to them now, and then when their box comes,
They give you the
me,
other one.
yeah. Like, oh, I have Bella in stock, I have mascara in stock, so add that to your cart, but I'll give it to you today.
Gotta
Well,
ask the question,
unfortunately,
send it
that's
to
okay.
Senegence
I'll
choice.
tell you
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And you
got your
don't
shirt?
offer
Yes.
them a
Okay.
Senegence choice. the
We
first
gotta
time.
meet.
I personally don't the first
Yes.
time.
It's been crazy with work.
Yeah.
I definitely
When you're-
want them
when you're
to
done.
just
Yeah.
know. I want.
Yeah, see you
Bye.
soon.
Good to